Hello, Nigeria. You're watching Newsline. I am Becky Madujemo. It's already August. Can you believe it? Welcome to a new month. How time flies. Then, a lot of people are pleased that 2020 is running along very quickly and they can't wait for the year to end. That feeling is understandable given that the coronavirus pandemic has eroded plans and lives. It has also brought out the resilience in humans, especially for our Muslim friends who, within the protocols of safety, celebrated a festival of sacrifice. By the way, Eid Mubarak to all watching, and stay glued for snippets of how the big Salah was marked in several towns across Nigeria. We also have fascinating stories with dramatic plots, like the one where a doctor found what he did not bargain for in the womb of his patient, who was in the theater to have fibroids taken out, as well as an update on the man who allegedly committed suicide because he could not afford traffic violation fine. So much more to savor tonight after Elizabeth Omoriye presents the news. Hello, Liz.
It's nice to see you, and thanks for joining us on the news segment of the program. The Federal Road Safety Corps has commenced legal action against a tricycle rider who was seen destroying FRSC patrol vehicle in a viral video recorded along Sapele Road, Benin, Edo State. A statement by the court reveals that the disciplinary committee investigating the incident has also recommended reduction in rank for the 7-man patrol team members involved in the incident, in addition to the Corps Marshal's directive for their redeployment from their present command. The Court Marshal warns personnel to ensure maximum civility even under provocation. It, however, cautions that the Corps will not relent in prosecuting anyone who assaults its personnel or damage any of its property and installations nationwide. We'll take a pause on the news now, and I'll hand over to Becky in Lagos.
Welcome back. So we'll begin with the Eid el-Kabir, also known as the Big Salah. It is one that is held in high esteem by Muslims the world over. Even with the COVID-19 pandemic, the celebration retained its status. Annie Daniels is set to tell us how the day went in Lagos.
You can't mistake that sound. It is from Makkah, the Muslim Hajj ground. Here in Lagos Business District, transactions were still ongoing at the Balogun market, while some Muslim traders were also waiting for the chief imam of Lagos, Sheikh Suleiman Abunola, to perform the symbolic slaughtering of a ram.
This is a remarkable day for we Muslims, especially it's a day of sacrifice. It's a day in which Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam sacrificed the ram in respect of his son that Allah asked him to do.
With that, Muslims were free to sacrifice their rams and celebrate the Eid festival.
It's not matter to kill the ram and keep it to the house and eat it small. It's not like that. You're supposed to share into the telly and take one part and dispose the rest people.
Unlike what obtained previous years, Lagos roads and streets were devoid of traffic and few people were seen on the streets, though still putting on beautiful attires to thank Allah for keeping them alive amid COVID-19.
I reduced to spend some money as I used to spend before.
I decided to visit a Muslim family to see how they were celebrating the day. the family of Alhaji Shakuruddin Gaffa. He was pleased to welcome us to his home. And guess what? The members of his household were very warm.
You know, part of the meat has been enjoined by Allah that you take from the meat. So we are taking from the meat now. So we have distributed some, you know, like that. We are going to cook some, you know, prepare food and give out as well to the needy. Islam teaches us that whenever you are cooking something in your own house and the aroma is going to the next house, once they have the aroma, then they should have from the food. That is Islam for you. So how, you know, generosity is inherent in Islam for us.
Shakuruddin Gaffa says the COVID-19 did not in any way take the shine off this year's Eid celebration.
If there wasn't COVID-19, this place would have been bubbling with, you know, parties and merrymakings. We will have tents, chairs around us, and people who have been dancing, celebrating, you know, thanking God that we are still alive up to this moment. But that cannot happen now because, you know, you don't allow visitors to come to you. Everybody should, you know, stay put in their respective homes. So anybody that have it, I may not know that he or she has it, will get him or herself treated. And we too, we have to make sure that we are in safe hands. So keep to yourself, at least for this time. That is part of what we are celebrating. You know, it's about sacrifice.
And before now, if not for this corona pandemic, he usually kind of gather us together, donate food, meat, ram, what have you, for us to celebrate together. But for this corona pandemic, I think that's the reason why he was unable to do that. But I have singled myself out to come and celebrate him because he's a man of good virtues.
The aroma from this pot of boiled ram is inviting. Happy Eid, Nigeria.
And to our Muslim friends, we say may the blessings of the season be your portion. Now here's an update on the fire outbreak at Ladipo. The buildings affected by the fire outbreak on number 16 Ladipo Street, Mushin, Lagos on Saturday have been leveled to the ground to prevent any secondary incident that could occur owing to the visible cracks on the walls of the buildings brought about by the intensity of the fire. Lynn Lineker reports that the traders clustered around the debris discussing how to prevent a recurrence of such calamity in the future.
What was left of the affected structures was pulled down by the officers of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, to prevent the traders from using them as temporary stalls, thereby endangering their lives. From the news gathered from the agency, about 30 shops, 6 bungalows, and 3-bedroom flats were razed down. Manuel Agunyi is one of the shop owners.
My material is Turkish material, which I sold 3,500 per yard. So the value is about more than 100 million. It's terrible. I never experienced fire for my life.
Me that it was one man living in this compound. He was preparing indomie to eat. While doing that, the stove caught fire.
Fire extinguisher is very, very important to everybody, even in your house, in your room. It's very important to be having it.
Although fire was still burning in some parts of the affected areas, the traders engaged the services of water vendors to put it out. Number 16 Ladipo Street, usually known for its busy nature, is now a shadow of itself as commercial activities have been brought to a halt temporarily. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
Thank you, Lynn. And now to the COVID-19 pandemic. The coronavirus curve is still rising globally, and governments around the world are employing measures to flatten it. Lagos still remains the epicenter in Nigeria with a high rate of community transmission. In this report, Hingino John Adams takes a look at the role being played by community leaders to flatten the curve.
COVID-19 is no more new to the world. With the awareness that it may have come to stay, people are now learning to cohabit with it, resulting in lifestyle adjustments popularly known as the new normal. However, it seems as if some people are not aware that the virus continues to tighten its grip on the world and remains very contagious, killing millions. This is the reason for the spike in number of cases, but concerned authorities are not letting their guards down. With community transmission increasing in Lagos State, traditional rulers are employing various means of enlightenment and enforcement of the preventive COVID-19 measures.
We are almost 100% compliance with the safety rules, almost 100%. If there be anything left at all, it will be because we don't have enough sanitizers to distribute, because we have made some and we distribute.
We continue to sensitize and enlighten people that we don't want to continue to lose important souls.
We also have a bull, worship hand bull. We put it at the entrance of this gate for people that are coming into this community.
And using this opportunity to tell the entire nation, Lagos, Langbasa in particular, Kingdom, that the COVID-19 is real.
Even as these leaders try their best to make their people embrace all the health measures to curtail the coronavirus pandemic, more attention is shifted to the roles of individuals to ensure a COVID-19 free society. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Friday 7th and Sunday the 9th of August are the new dates set for churches and mosques in Lagos State to resume partial activities with 50% of their congregation at a time. As worshippers count down to the reopening, Joy Ken Abakboya takes a look at reactions to this news and preparations by religious centers.
In March this year, Lagos State began enforcement of COVID-19 prevention guidelines, which encourage social distancing and banned large gatherings. And so, religious houses in compliance shut their doors to congregation. Slowly, days turned into weeks and weeks to months, with many adopting online worship while hoping and praying that normal services will begin again. Just like an answered prayer, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu Saturday announced the reopening of worship centers in a few days. The news has thrown the religious community into jubilation.
I feel so excited, and not just me. I'm very sure that the body of Christ here in Lagos State is jubilating that they have got the freedom to worship their God as in the capacity of congregating.
Joy Ngwakwe is a Christian who spent most Sundays in the last 4 months hooking up to online services. She says the thought of physically fellowshipping with others is overwhelming.
Nothing beats that one-on-one interaction, seeing people, getting to know how they are.
Although the commencement of services is not without conditions, religious leaders say measures are already in place to ensure 100% compliance.
We'll ensure by ourselves, not even involving government, we will move around, we'll have a task force that will make sure that churches are compliant.
We are alerting all our members, our worshippers, that whoever is coming to our mosque to worship should come with their nose mask.
We have a tally which will give us the 50% of population on ground, which our committees will be on the front of the mosque, giving each person the tally.
However, as these centers warm up to resume partial activities, the expectation is that religious leaders will be faithful to their word, as the events of the next few weeks will determine whether the state has continued to progress or has retrogressed in curbing the virus. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.
It's been so long and worshippers are excited. Let's rejoin Elizabeth Omori. I will be back after she's done.
Thank you, Becky. Still talking COVID-19, Australia's second largest city declares state of disaster after spiking coronavirus cases. And India's Interior Minister tests positive for COVID-19. Joyce Omitu has a review of the pandemic in the past week.
The World Health Organization has warned that the coronavirus pandemic would be lengthy and could lead to response fatigue. 6 months after the health agency declared the outbreak a global emergency, the world now records more than 18 million cases of coronavirus. Statistics by Worldometer as at 6 p.m. show that the virus has killed 690,445 persons and infected 18,116,550. The number of infections globally increased by more than 1.8 million, while more than 40,000 fatalities were recorded in the past week. South Africa is reporting more than 500,000 cases as a resurgence of COVID-19 sweeps the country. The country has the 5th highest number of cases in the world after the US, Brazil, India, and Russia, while Africa as a whole now records 949,226 cases, 20,035 fatalities, and 607,361 recoveries. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control said more than 20,000 patients in Nigeria have now recovered from coronavirus. So far, the country has 43,537 cases and 883 fatalities. A review of daily reports by the health agency showed a total of 3,560 new cases registered during the week. In other developments, Australia's state of Victoria has declared a state of disaster Sunday and announced a lockdown following a surge in the number of coronavirus cases. A curfew has been imposed in the city of Melbourne, and residents are ordered not to travel beyond 5 kilometers from their homes. In India, the country's Interior Minister Amit Shah has tested positive for coronavirus and has been admitted to hospital. Amit Shah heads the key ministry at the forefront of managing India's coronavirus outbreak. Thanks for watching. I am Joyce Omitu.
Thank you, Joyce. Now, to political matters, stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in the Southeast, particularly in Imo State, have reached a consensus to uphold the desire to protect, expand and sustain the party's victory in their zone. The unanimous decision by the stakeholders was reaffirmed at a press briefing in Abuja. Sali Abdullahi reports.
Sons and daughters of Wesako came together to say well done to a man whom they said impacted on the lives of people and also fast-tracked developments across the state. The APC candidate, while describing Oshomole in glowing terms, is however displeased that he has been betrayed by the people he helped to bring up politically. He urged the people to show their disgust for what he described as bad behavior through their voters' cards.
Me, I get simple agenda. We don't try them. They fail. And the truth be said, the only reason why I agree for them is because of this man. I want to assure you that things will change.
Other party chieftains were unanimous in their call on the people to vote for the APC for a change of narrative. Adams Oshomole, who was appreciative of the honor done him, noted that leadership entails bringing prosperity and joy to the people. He expressed the hope of the return of the era of development projects in the state through the joint ticket of Pastor Iziyamo and Gani Audu.
With the combined force of these two holy documents, standing behind of these two young men, and don't we not fall back in the era of darkness.
Earlier, the APC candidate visited the palace of the Otaro of Auchi, His Royal Highness Ali Rumomo Ikelebe III, and other traditional rulers in Isako to pay Salah homage. Udwakobong Achibong, NTA News.
We apologize for that mix-up. That was the report on the APC's campaign in Fuga. Meanwhile, stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in the Southeast, particularly in Imo State, have also reached a consensus on how to move the party forward. Abdullahi Salih has details.
Since the inauguration of APC's National Caretaker and Extraordinary National Convention Committee, intra-party peace building among members has remained top on the agenda. Therefore, the quest for political stability in Imo State and the desire to sustain the resuscitated infrastructural development under the Buhari-led administration across the country, particularly in the southeast, informed this decision.
We also encourage all members of the party to discontinue all legal suits as resolved by the last NEC meeting and supported by His Excellency, President Muhammad Buhari. We, the stakeholders of the party, as a party faithful, shall continue to support our APC-led government of His Excellency, Governor Hope Uzodinma, Governor Mala Buni-led National Caretaker Committee, and we will continue to support the President Muhammad Buhari-led administration.
They unanimously agreed to take up the task of expanding the scope of APC with support to its leaders at all levels of government. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
We now shift attention to security. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, said aircraft hangars are to be constructed to ensure effective maintenance of aircraft for smooth operations in the fight against bandits ravaging Katsina State and its environs. The Chief of the Air Staff addressed troops of Air Component of Operation Adarin Daji and 213 Forward Operation Base Katsina, explaining that this would facilitate the fight against armed bandits in the northwest. Awal Halir reports.
Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, said the construction of the hangars would commence in 2 weeks' time and will be based in Katsina.
I believe by the time it is fully erected, it will add a lot of value to our maintenance. Our technicians will not have to maintain aircraft in the open, in the sun, under very harsh temperatures.
Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar appreciated the frontline troops for their courage, resilience and dedication. He also explained that more equipment for the fight against banditry would be provided to the troops to boost their morale. Governor Aminu Bello Masari explained that communities and local people have to be involved to succeed in the fight against bandits in the state.
We as a government are looking at ways and means of assisting communities to sustain peace. This is in addition to community policing. We have to create ownership, leadership at the lowest level.
He then expressed gratitude to the Nigerian army for their efforts in ensuring peace in the country. In Katsina, Awal Haliru, NTA News.
To talk in security, the Nigerian Air Force says it will continue to work towards ensuring peace in all areas affected by banditry in the northwest and the nation in general. This came to the fore at the Eid al-Kabir lunch organized for personnel of Sokoto Air Operation against banditry at 119 Composite NAF Base, Sokoto. Abdurrahman Husman Jibrila reports.
Anti-banditry air operation was launched in May 2020 to rid Sokoto State and the northwest of banditry and other criminal elements. This Salah launch is organized to celebrate the gallantry of the officers, airmen and women for the successes recorded so far in the anti-banditry operation. These officers are supposed to have been at home celebrating Salah with their families but couldn't due to the call to duty. Special dishes were prepared to make the launch memorable. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, represented by the Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command, Olusegun Philip, said loyalty to the nation, professionalism and sacrifice will continue to be their watchword.
The current security climate has curtailed the bandits' capacity to carry out attacks on innocent citizens, which was a necessary prelude to the ongoing peace dialogues.
It is gladdening to note that the excellent achievements and successes recorded so far is not only satisfying but commendable.
Climax of the event was an intelligence competition and winners were presented with cash. In Sokoto, Abraman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
Away from security, World Breastfeeding Week is celebrated every year between 1st and 7th of August to encourage breastfeeding and improve the health of babies around the world. Basi Itaikman reports that this year, the WHO is working with UNICEF and partners to promote the importance of family-friendly policies to enable breastfeeding and help parents nurture and bond with their children in early life.
Breast milk, especially that yellowish substance that comes out immediately after childbirth, professionals say is the only source of water and nutrients an infant needs within the first 6 months of life. A breakdown shows breast milk contains some valuable nutrients that can decrease respiratory infection, diarrhea, and other communicable diseases. Breastfeeding also contributes to child spacing, as well as decrease ovarian and breast cancer. Despite these gains, record shows that only 27% of lactating mothers give their babies only breast milk in the first 6 months of life, which is below 50% target. These and more inform the 7-day advocacy aimed at creating awareness on exclusive breastfeeding by WHO, UNICEF, and some partners.
So for this year, what we are looking at is ensure that there is a skill counseling services that ensure that mothers and family receive support for counseling and being able to breastfeed. And this counseling is key to ensure that this woman is able to really breastfeed her child very well.
This year's theme, Support Breastfeeding for a Healthier Planet, experts say is apt. The week-long advocacy was also aimed at bringing to an end infant mortality from malnutrition and educate mothers on the need to adhere to exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months, as well as continue complementary breastfeeding for 2 years of the child's life. Basi Taipang, NTA News.
In talking sports now, WTA event in Italy signals resumption of tennis. Details of this and more with Amanze Marcus.
When the entry list for the 148th edition of the U.S. Open is published this week, some names will be missing due to COVID-19. After the withdrawal of compatriot and women's world number 1 Ashley Barty, Nikirios has opted out of the last Grand Slam of the season. The 25-year-old Australian, ranked 40, revealed he recognized lower-wage employees want the tournament to hold, and he respects their opinion and that of the organizers. According to him, let's take a breath here and remember what's important, which is health and safety as a community. We can rebuild our sport and the economy, but we can never recover lives lost. The U.S. Open holds from August 31 to September 13. After a 5-month coronavirus-induced break, the tennis season resumes Monday with the Palermo Ladies Open in Italy. World number 15 Croatia's Petra Martic disclosed the break provided her an opportunity of looking ahead to a future without tennis competitions, adding that to be part of the return of tennis is great. So I'm just going to try to enjoy myself. To be back on the court right now is really just a privilege without thinking about any results or any goals or focused on numbers or anything else, she said. The WTA had earlier revealed that an unnamed player has withdrawn from the tournament after testing positive for coronavirus. Sports update, Manzi Marcus, NTA News.
And next is a quick look at the weather prospects. And don't forget to join the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. And that ends the news segment of the program. Becky has more reports for you after this break. To stay with us.
We dey catch feelings, we dey cry.
Amaka, ani kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
If you do better thing, you go thrive, mama.
Leave that house now. Amaka, stay where you are. You are going nowhere. Amaka!
Blockbuster movies like this, series and much more. Download the Airtel TV app.
Mr. Announcer, you not tell them say this film is still there on top of fire. Any say me, we see the shoot, so.
Download the Airtel TV app from Apple and Android Play Store. Enjoy for 7 days data free.
Airtel TV by Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, is inviting the reporting financial entities to a 2-day sensitization engagement with a view to educating them. Day 1, Tuesday, 4th August 2020. Opening session between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and technical session 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with participation from regulatory authorities, Governor of CBN, DGSEC, Commissioner of NICON and Director NFIU, Chief Executive of Financial Institutions, relevant compliance officers of financial institutions, relevant task practitioners. Day 2, Wednesday, 5th August 2020. Technical session 2 between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. with participation from relevant compliance officers of financial institutions. Relevant task practitioners. Participating organizations are required to forward the list of participants to aeoi.seminole@firs.gov.ng in the following format. The reporting financial institutions will be expected to file their first report by 30th September 2020. Signed, Muhammad Nani, Executive Chairman.
Baraka Salah from the Federal Road Safety Corps.
On behalf of the Federal Road Safety Corps, I congratulate all Muslim faithfuls on the occasion of this year's Eid al-Kabir celebration.
The presidency has eased the lockdown and we anticipate increased travels this coming holidays.
I wish to respectfully remind you to be safety conscious as you travel to celebrate.
Ensure your vehicles are in good conditions before setting out and please do not overspeed. All public buses, taxis and tricycles must travel at 50% capacity and drivers are to ensure passengers wear face masks. Commercial transporters do not use air conditioner in your vehicles to allow for free flow of air. Report any driver that violates these guidelines.
Yes, wishing you all a happy celebration and safe travels. Baraka Salah.
In case of road crash, call toll-free lines.
Announcer BC Kazim, Assistant Corps Marshal, Corps Public Education Officer, FRSC.
Stay home data plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Dial *777# to choose a plan. Glow Unlimited.
Let's do something more interesting. Let's sing.
Amazing moms who nurture the uniqueness in our kids while keeping them healthy and safe. So kids, stay indoors, wash your hands, and enjoy your favorite delicious Indomie noodles. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
See you tomorrow, Papa. I am a
happy and I know I'm free.
Now, time for meeting. Any landlord when no show go pay fine.
Make I go call her.
House number 1. Present.
Papa, they don't disturb me too.
House number 5.
And they're angry that you are not here.
Just put me on the window there so that I can see them and I can hear them. He's not around, so his house is sanctioned. Present. I carry data for head, I carry him for back. Correct data when they pay me. Say I know they know me, say I know they see your landlord. Talk to me face to face.
Explore without limits. Turn it up on MTN, the reliable data network.
Driver, fire ahead.
In these uncertain times, one thing's certain. We're in this together. So Clean Protect, the antibacterial detergent that removes 99.9% germs while it cleans. Because germ-free clean is the real clean that we all need. Do your best to protect your family. So Clean Protect.
Thank you for staying with us. The report on Q is about a couple who tried for many years to have children but did not succeed. They had to go through the pains and frustrations posed by infertility. Of course, they searched for solutions. In the process, the wife was scheduled for a myomectomy, which is a surgical removal of fibroids. However, during the procedure, something stranger than fiction happened that changed their story. Elizabeth Omori reports.
Waiting either for money, desired job, admission, marriage or car, you name it, it can be so frustrating. Many a times when there's a delay in seeing physical manifestation. In the case of this couple, the waiting was for a baby. For the very first time since they got married 12 years ago, family, friends and associates of the Lucas can now attest to the awesomeness of God, which surpasses science and medicine. Family members and friends have all come from far and near to behold the miracle of the Lucas, irrespective of the COVID-19 situation.
Nobody in the family will tell you that he was not worried at the time. Because at the time when the journey get to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, there was no sign of pregnancy, no sign of a child. The family was worried. The marriage almost tear apart. The pressure from our own side, pressurizing him. Why? What is happening?
He has been pastoring for how many years? And he has been complaining with people. You understand me? And those people, at the end of the day, you hear that they don't born twins, but this man has been there.
It is not the years of waiting that made the Lucas story unique, but the way and manner the baby came.
I discovered fibroid 2008 when we were about getting married. My husband came and he said, it's like your tummy is big. And I didn't know. He said, you have to go to hospital. Immediately I went to hospital. They said, how come you didn't know you have fibroid? And that was when that very year, 2000, and after the marriage, because we got married April. So December, I did the operation, believing God that after the operation, the baby will come. So this is the time that the baby came.
They did the first operation. The thing did not work. She came back. We had several miscarriages, about 3 miscarriages. They keep saying it's another fibroid. We went again, they did another surgery. We came back. Several things, injection, that it will shrink the fibroid. They will bring this, bring that. We were just like, let's try. At a point, some people said, go for IVF. We tried IVF, I think, twice. It failed. I remember one of my boss would tell me, don't help God, wait for God. And I stood on that.
But mind you, there were many serious unpleasant drama episodes before today's celebration.
When one of my grandmother came and said, won't you get a girl pregnant outside? I just asked her, I said, Grandma, assuming it is your daughter that is in my house, and she told you that her mother-in-law came and said this, will you be happy?
There's a time I gave up. I even left. But I thank God I'm back and the baby has come.
Today, Their pain is replaced by joy and parenting, thanks to the virtue of patience and hopefulness. With this, anyone still in the process of waiting can be sure of a good laugh at the end of it all. So, no matter how long your waiting has been, short or long, just keep waiting. Be sure patience is right there with you.
Was nothing short of a miracle. Congratulations to the couple. Moving on, last week we brought you a report about a young man who allegedly committed suicide at the traffic agency office in Abuja, the Ogun State capital, over his inability to pay a stipulated fine. Well, his family members have showed up to challenge the cause of death, as well as the agency's claim that it was premeditated suicide due to a face-off between the deceased and his boss. Hakim Jimo's report is presented in this package.
It is not unusual for events to trigger a strong emotional reaction, especially when it has to do with a loved one. While it is normal to grieve after losing someone, accepting that the death actually occurred can be difficult, even if one has intellectually recognized that it happened. This is the scenario in Abeokuta with some residents who knew Fatai Salami. They are yet to come to terms with the fact that he is no more. They are still wondering what could push the deceased to commit suicide in the premises of Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Agency, TRACE, on Monday the 20th of July 2020.
Why do you have to take your life? So is that the end of it? It's ungodly. It's a crime on its own. Kill itself is not good.
Although family members of the deceased are still grieving over the matter, they however debunked the claim by TRACE that the driver of the truck managed by Fatai was apprehended and asked to pay only 10,000 naira fine for committing traffic infraction in the capital city.
My boss told them that the money with him was 150,000 naira and pleaded with them that somebody gave him the truck to use for business, but they refused to collect the money. They said there was nothing they could do to help him than for him to pay the total amount of 270,000 naira, including 50,000 naira charges as demurrage for the 5 days that the truck stayed in their premises until that Monday.
The first offense that they charge him for is restriction, and that is 10,000 naira is here. Now the second offense written here is TRSO1, which is disobeying traffic control personnel. That is 5,000 naira. Then the next one is TRMO9, and that is obstruction, which they wrote as obstruction of public road, and that is charged for 50,000 naira as written here. Then the next one is TTVO4, which is towing truck vehicle loaded. That is number 55. That is charged. The charge on that is 150,000 naira. If you add that up, that will give you 215,000 naira that is being circulated.
The deceased family members are also challenging TRACE to produce evidence of allegation that the deceased was under depression to take his life.
How possibly somebody I spoke with on Saturday and Sunday that was full of life can possibly commit suicide? No sign of depression, no sign of health history. And he called me again on Monday morning.
We need the assistance of good Nigerians. We don't have the money.
In a swift reaction, the public relations officer of TRACE, Babatunde Akimbi, denied the allegations and tried to set the record straight.
He was on a suicide mission because the last person he made a contact with via his phone, I think he was telling that person that he's now in TRACE office, that was going to kill himself.
Meanwhile, the Ogun State Police Command is awaiting autopsy result to enable the command commence full and proper investigation into the matter, even as his body still lies in the mortuary. An indigene of Kogi State and father of 3 boys, Fatai Salami, until his death, lived in Isheri, Lagos.
The dead could speak, but we await results of the autopsy and will bring you up to speed. Away from that, in spite of the outcry against rape in urban and rural communities, more disturbing revelations are unfolding about this menace in Kaduna State. Achari Maxwell takes us to Gadangaya, a village near the Kaduna city center, where more young girls and boys, yes, boys too, are becoming victims.
Gadangayang, a densely populated community of 1.5 hour drive from Kaduna metropolis, is one community close to the capital city in many perspectives. Close in terms of proximity and close in the wave of social vices that cast dark shadows above the collective destiny of the people. One of these is the act of rape. The locals here are also battling with its realities beyond the scourge of the coronavirus pandemic. Here in Gadangayang, every young boy and girl is a potential prey to sex predators in the community. Aisha is one of the latest victims, a bad one at that. She was allegedly raped by siblings. One of them is 65 years old.
Suna cewa in ɗaga wandona ne ko su cire min kaya. Su uku dukkansu ba na irgawa.
In our organization alone, we have recorded about 54 rape cases just in 3 months. So it was not like that before. Before we used to get like 3 or 4 cases maybe in a month. But now on daily basis, like today we had one case of sodomy. Child of 9-year-old boy who was raped by a 52-year-old man. He has been arrested also.
As the schools remain closed due to the pandemic, there are concerns by Gadangayan community about the vulnerability of their young boys and girls, with rapists getting away with their act.
I'm not happy at all. I pray God to get this better in this world. I'm not happy with the rape is happening to us, especially Gadangayan.
Abin da baka san ai mana kakkai da kai ma dan wani in kuma kai ma dan wani Allah fa ba zai barka ba amma muna fatan in kuma masu shiryuwa ne ubangiji Allah ya shirya su in ba masu shiryuwa bane Allah kai ka san da zaka yi da kayanka.
Back in the city center, rape seems to be on the increase despite collaborative efforts by concerned individuals and groups like this group of women activists who follow up daily in the police stations, courts, or hospitals handling issues related to gender-based violence.
Calling for speedy justice on perpetrators, and that could serve as deterrent. Now, the increase in cases of sexual assault on minors is assuming alarming dimensions. Recently, a 15-year-old deaf and dumb boy who was allegedly sodomized by his neighbor is still mentally and physically traumatized by the attack. Fatima Sanusi Karaye reports that the mother of the victim, a widow, is seeking justice.
Medile in Kumbozo local government area of Kano State remained dumbfounded as their 15-year-old son, Ahmed, was allegedly sexually molested by a 40-year-old. The victim was rescued by members of community security outfit in an uncompleted building near a deserted pond. The vigilante that apprehended the suspect said they heard a distressed cry at around 10 p.m., which attracted their attention towards the area. Ahmed, an introvert who is also deaf and dumb, went to borrow a pressing iron from his neighbor, whom he trusted as a friend. He was not given the pressing iron. Instead, the neighbor, using cover of the night, dragged the minor to a deserted area and betrayed his trust.
We heard a commotion, and when we ran inside, we saw the deaf boy struggling to free himself. So we took them to police station. The deaf boy was taken to hospital to be examined.
We are calling on government to please help us because we do not know what is happening with the court.
This 15-year-old is just one out of the over 80 victims allegedly molested between June and July this year, according to statistics from Coalition Against Rape and Violence in Kano.
The cases are increasing, and it was a challenge during the lockdown because we know that we have an outcry now. Because of the lockdown, a lot of victims and perpetrators were locked in the same environment, hence the assault.
Training even our personnel on how to handle rape cases and carry out investigation of rape cases.
so that we'll have a successful prosecution in court.
He said most victims are lowered into the trap with food or money, where he called on parents to be vigilant and aware of their words' whereabouts as perpetrators take advantage of parental absence, especially when the minors are street hawking or running errands.
These children travel 40 to 50 kilometers every day to come to this spot where they engage in street hawking, exposing themselves to all forms of abuses. One may wonder, is there any law that prohibits juvenile from street hawking? If there is, then why do we have these children on our streets?
Rape is grievous and dehumanizing, according to experts, and its effect on victims usually lingers, just like in the case of this 15-year-old. He is afraid of people and never leaves his mother's side, as she is the only person he trusts. He hopes the justice system will not fail him.
It's a wicked word, they say. That boy needs healing to get back on track. To domestic affairs, in most families, parents run the affairs by providing and catering to the overall development of their children. But how can they strike a balance between love and pampering? Lydia Odije Ochi examines approaches to parenting and the implications on society. Karen Louis Obeka is 5 years old. Her brother, King, is 11. To these children, house chores are a normal part of daily activities at home.
I help my mother to cook and wash. I am the cook of the family. I like cooking jollof spaghetti, this type of spaghetti and stew. I like cooking rice and beans. I started cooking when I was 8 years old.
Child upbringing is not an easy task. Parents have an important role to play in the home front so as to raise responsible children.
Parents, most of them nowadays do not have much time to take care of their children because of the challenges of the hardship where they need to fend for their homes. But be it as it may, that is not enough for you not to bring up your children so that they don't constitute a nuisance in the society.
With the growing rate of moral decadence among youths in Nigeria, the need to examine value reorientation has become imperative. The youths seem disoriented and lack values like self-discipline, humility, and hard work. Now, how did we get here?
Our social values that we know are no more being respected. In those days, we have respect for elders, but no more respect again today by the young people. Lack of good leadership from the community leaders. In those days, when there is a thief within the community themselves will sit down and fetch him out. But today is no more happening.
When you see rape, because this is what is happening now, rape, as you can see it, is a symptom, it's a signal that there is failure in the parenting, there is failure from the society, there is failure in the law enforcement, there is failure. It's telling you that something somewhere is wrong.
This matter is not just an issue for women and children. It is a social issue that all hands must be on deck, because the child belongs to all and the child needs to be protected and supported.
Pandemics have a bearing on the social fabric of the society.
Most of them, they will have and they will look their parents suffering because they will put it in mind that Mama did not do this when he's supposed to do it. And I suffer till now. Now that I have gotten something, I will not help Mama.
Aside ensuring domestic chores are completed, Karen has her own wishes, just like everyone else.
I want coronavirus to go so that we can go back to school again.
The coronavirus pandemic and the resultant stay-at-home directive, families are spending more time together. Lydia, families are spending more time together, and parents have to instill that sense of responsibility in their children, especially now. Time for a break. There'll be more when we return. Stay with us.
You see, as I talk to you plenty, Nana, because I get glue too, and make me they talk. Please, I be not be so. All right. Don't be say I want to talk plenty. Una no self say I know they lie. You see this glow? If you get them, una no go even Nana go just they talk they go because it's not there.
Enjoy international calls from as low as 40 kobo per second from Niger to the world. Call your loved ones today.
Thank you, my sister. You do well, eh?
Glow Unlimited. A scourge that bedevils Nigeria and Edo State has been the twin issues of migration and human trafficking. This, the citation statement added, is where the decision by NAPTIP to honor Captain Hosa as NAPTIP's Man of the Year 2020 as a well-placed and laudable decision, especially on the heels of the 2020 World Day Against Human Trafficking, an event that took place on Thursday, 30th July 2020. In a citation statement by NAPTIP's Director General, Dame Julie Oka Donley, she remarked that Captain Okumbo has remained a formidable ally and an individual in partnering her agency by committing personal resources into the fight against the illicit business of human trafficking and illegal migration. It was heartwarming, the NAPTIP Agency Director General noted, that the Philanthropist has not only empowered victims of human trafficking but also supported NAPTIP. In a concluding statement, the NAPTIP citation declared that its award on Captain Hosa was another shining testimony of his contributions to humanity for a better society. When viewed against the background of many wealthy Nigerians who prefer to live in their comfort zones and will not voluntarily spare their resources to support the fight to stem the tide of human trafficking, which is a threat to human dignity. Many of those who witnessed the ceremony said in an interview that Captain Hosa Okumbo's award did not come to them as a surprise, as they were aware of his record of selfless philanthropic activities in Edo State and across the country.
Expressions without words won't have it any other way. Moments will feel joy. Been lost in the moment, the freedom. You will find that's what's celebrating. Bring your moment to life. Find your satisfaction in the nourishing, trending, sparkling. Celebrate a little win, making big differences in the nourishing, trending, sparkling.
Enjoy in red grape, white grape, peach variants. The Let Us Sparkling Fruit Drink. Celebrate every moment.
What's your beautiful? My essence and my energy.
My natural glow and my confidence.
My freshness and fierceness.
My beautiful is being me.
Reveal your beautiful this beauty month with amazing discounts of up to 33% off select Nivea products in participating stores near you. Nivea, be you, be beautiful.
Hey, tell them. They told me you are the best around here.
What can I do for you, sir?
I want my own very, very simple. I don't want any shine. If I see any shine.
Actually, I'd love some sequins on my skirt. And I don't like any frills. I beg, I want frills on mine. But it must not be too tight.
Tight! That tight now, that is what I want. And the transition.
Oh, you know what? I want a gown.
Me too. I want to come to
You know what GMS and this for coming? Hey, did you capture all the information?
Of course not.
Actually.
Fantastic.
I give my customers what they love because everyone has their unique style. So why should they wear the same thing? Just like MTN for me, which gives unique data and recharge offers just the way you like it. Just dial *121# and turn up great offers every day.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
The sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. And life is calling, time to live a new way. Activate your life, be who you want to
Start an active life with the power of vegetables and fruits. The goodness of fiber with no preservatives. Chivita Active. Be active. Do more.
Your hogs are a comfy place for dropping in, for lazing around, and hanging out. So we've designed our hugs to be just as comfy, with a soup-absorbent cord to lock wetness away, and the soft, flexible waistband. Our most comfortable diaper keeps baby comfy at every angle. We'll never stop finding new ways to hug more like you. Huggies, your hugs inspire ours.
Welcome back. Indigenous oil and gas firm Seplat Petroleum Development Company has rolled out the drums to celebrate a decade of operations and being at the forefront of driving the energy transition agenda in line with climate change narrative. Amaka O, who witnessed the inaugural energy summit by the company in Lagos, reports.
Seplat Petroleum Development Company remains a trailblazer. The company has transformed the landscape of upstream indigenous oil and gas business in the last 10 years.
Seplat has recorded some key achievements in 10 years. One is successful acquisition of SPDC and CNL divestment assets and appointment as operator.
Seplat has continued to record impressive growth in oil and gas production and reserves, thanks to visionary leadership that brought about these giant strides.
In Seplat, we like to lead from the front. When we say that the dynamics of doing business in the oil and gas sector has changed, we would like to be a leading company in that space. We're leading and setting the tone for the clean narrative of the energy value chain.
The change in mantle of leadership marks continuity of corporate governance and continued partnerships.
We're a 50-50 joint venture with government on the new ANO gas plant. We'd like to do more of those types of projects and everything else. We'd like government to support us in new acquisitions, and very clear is the legislation.
The governance structure that we have created has made it possible for the company as a corporate entity to operate efficiently.
The Virtual Energy Summit was on the premise of business sustainability and strategic leadership in Africa, with experts drawn from across the globe.
My recommendation is rigorous cost cutting, but also rationalization of your asset portfolio. So try and divest non-performing assets.
The company was hailed for reducing gas flaring by 8%, an indication that the organization deepens gas utilization in the safest manner. Another notable achievement is that Seplat is listed on the London and Nigerian stock exchanges.
Hearty cheers to Seplat Petroleum. Moving on, the face mask is a personal protective equipment that everyone needs to adorn in public to prevent coronavirus, in line with campaigns by government about its effectiveness. Dr. Oguyemi, who set out to find out why some Nigerians do not comply with this guideline, ran into an interesting group led by an entertainer called Adeyemi Adegboyega, also known as Yiga, on the same mission.
It is loud and almost chaotic, with an ocean of people pouring from all directions. A typical scenario at almost all motor parks, and the case is not different here at Ojodubega. As I look upon the faces of several passers-by, my concern is why some have brazenly refused to wear a face mask despite passionate appeals by government and global health authorities. I met stiff opposition in an effort to speak to violators of these directives as they consciously snubbed my questions. And a bid to raise the consciousness of the people, Adeyemi Adegboyega, a music artist who goes by the stage name Yega, took time out of his recording booth to sensitize the people, going as far as distributing face masks.
At the end of the day, we can't touch everybody, but at least even if we touch 50 people and they go and tell their family members that, do this, do that, I think it's a job well done for us.
As much as we are going back to, a post-COVID economic time, we really want people to understand the precautions.
Ismail Bello, a bus driver, caught my attention with his views, as he is one of those who still doubts the existence of COVID-19. He wasn't only a beneficiary of Yega's gesture, but interestingly, had a baby tied to his back due to his status as a single father, one of the many effects of the pandemic on his life, coupled with the continued closure of schools.
My wife is leaving because of COVID-19, so I need to drive to my Ekiti. I need to carry it because there's nobody can take care of him.
Do you carry your baby with you to Ekiti?
Yes. I will just carry and give one of our passengers inside to keep it for me. When I get to Ekiti, and I'll collect my baby.
Free from COVID-19.
And like his advocacy song, Free, it is people like Bello who are desperately looking forward to a COVID-19 free society. Yega and his team are desirous to see better compliance with the use of face masks and believe such efforts complement series of awareness by government.
What a brilliant way to pass on the message. Thumbs up, Yega. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic has no doubt affected all sectors of the economy, and education is among the worst hit. If the popular saying that money answereth all is anything to go by, then Fatima Usman's interaction with private school teachers and managers in Mina, Niger State, gives backing to the quote, having been locked down and uncertain about when schools will reopen. Take a listen.
In spite of daily record of COVID-19 cases, lots of business activities have resumed across the country. However, the education sector has remained the one with the most uncertainty as to when school activities will commence. What this means for the private schools is zero income, as the payment of tuition fees is the only source of income.
In April, we paid them full salary, 100%. But when it's hit us now that school fees is not coming and the pandemic refuses to go, we have no option but to reduce it to a certain percent of what we've been giving them.
We can't be able to pay them if the schools are not open and school fees are not paid. What we only did was to have an online class going on, a token fees being paid, which goes directly to the teachers.
We had to approach the bank to get a loan to be able to pay April salary.
The effect of the non-payment of salaries to teachers has thus thrown them into negative plights.
It has been long now we have been paid. And I'm doing lesson, and the lesson, because of this COVID-19 again, the parent asked me to stop it. I'm about to marry. It has affected my preparation.
No food. Due to the fact that there's no money, I'm being disrespected, so I have to go out of the house without going anywhere.
They've not been paying us at all. These days, even our husbands too, it has not really been easy with them. He goes to work, at times he comes back frowning his face.
On the positive side, however, most of these fellows have devised other means of survival. Tosin Oyetunji is now earning a living by bringing children in her neighborhood together for private lessons.
When I think sitting alone will not yield anything, I decided to start teaching children little by collecting a little money from them.
I will say it has been positive because it has given me more time actually to concentrate on my farming activities.
I'm into a little business, and the business is Konoya and Zobo.
I thank God because I have something doing already. That is why I'm not finding it too difficult.
Not only are the teachers out of job, but pupils and students alike are yearning to be in school again.
I want to go back to school and learn. I miss my friends too.
Athletics that we do at school, I miss it. I beg government to please open our school so that we can go back to school and learn more things.
One can only hope that the coronavirus pandemic disappears or remedies found for it, so that life can be normal again for teachers and their pupils.
These are trying times, and to private school teachers, it will soon be over. Be optimistic. Newsline still has more to come. For now, we'll take some messages.
From Chivita, the home of your trusted juice and refreshment brand in Nigeria, comes another first. Introducing the new cool Chivita in can. Enjoy the same great taste.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars. Yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC, just as you report COVID-19 to NCDC. Stay away from corruption. Stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
Nigerians, let us take responsibility. Stay healthy, stay safe, and curb the spread of the virus. Take responsibility. The coronavirus spreads from one person to another. Let us avoid crowd gathering of any kind for any reason. Take responsibility. Avoid traveling from one state to another during these lockdown restrictions. Obey all the rules that are put in place. Take responsibility. Stop spreading fake news and unverified reports about the coronavirus. There is no known cure for COVID-19. Take responsibility. Observe all the measures that can help stop the spread of the virus. Together, we can do this, but only if we take responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
In line with the brand's philosophy of adding value to life, Nigerian Breweries PLC, makers of Life Continental Lager beer, has illuminated the Niger Bridge for enhanced security. Uchenna Nwekoyo reports that the ceremony, which held at the bridgehead Onitsha, was attended by representatives of Anambra and Delta States governments.
First brewed in 1981, Life Continental Lager beer has undergone series of modifications, making it acceptable and the most consumed brand among the many lager beer produced by the Nigerian Breweries PLC. This project of lighting up the River Niger Bridge is one of the ways of giving back to the public, especially in the area where live continental lager beer is largely consumed.
The live beer has never been apologetic about its celebration of the progress that Moody will stand for. It is part of the brand's DNA. And with the Niger Bridge, it displays the biggest symbol of the Igbo person's journey to progress.
For us, we know that staying alive is one of the most important things for us. It's only when you are alive that you can achieve progress.
What better way to say thank you to the region that contributes to that achievement? The bulk of the volume of the brand is consumed down the southeast.
Representatives of the Anambra and Delta states governments said the project complements the efforts of both states in the fight against crime.
Lighting up this bridge will go a long way towards bringing normalcy along here. People used to dread walking past this bridge day and night, but most especially towards evenings.
What the Nigerian breweries have done today is wonderful, and it's an exemplary gesture that shows that they have so enormous respect for social responsibility.
Nigerian Breweries PLC says consuming live continental lager beer brings progress only if it is done responsibly.
The next, destiny, the last wrong of fate, is often used to rationalize occurrences that beat human imagination. The belief is that life is predestined. This perhaps explains the journey of Shino Ajayi, who was incarcerated alongside his father for 21 years for an offense he did not commit. How very sad.
At the age of 40, what seemed important to Shino Ajayi was the struggle to make ends meet. 21 years of his life will be spent across different custodial centers as a condemned prisoner. In 1999, Shino and his father were robbed as suspects in an armed robbery attack where he was even a victim. This led him to custodial center as both father and son were sentenced to death. Appeals, even up to Supreme Court, couldn't bring respite. He was moved from condemned cell to execution center. But wait a minute, intervention came. Divine, you may call it, a non-governmental organization, Center for Justice, Mercy and Reconciliation, took up the case and appealed for a review on his behalf. The sentence was commuted to life imprisonment in 2018. Unfortunately, his father was not that lucky. He had passed on in 2015 while serving his jail term. Another appeal was instituted and the life sentence was converted to 30 years. Further efforts got him off the clutches of death. He was released through state pardon after 21 years.
Going by the calculation of that 30 years imprisonment, the man has to be released on 28 June 2022.
At about 2 a.m. on that day, armed robbers came to attack us in our home. After collecting money from my father, he was macheted. They also attacked my mother. I need to rescue my father, but I have to report to the police station. Getting there, another victim of the attack, who happens to be one of our family members, reported that he suspected me as one of the armed robbers. From there, we were taken to High Court. That was the beginning of my incarceration.
At the reunion with his aged mother, who had lost everything in the fight for justice, and his 21-year-old daughter, who was 3 months at the time he was incarcerated, emotion rose high.
We were beaten on that day. My husband was highly macheted. This could have been the result of his death thereafter. My only hope is my son.
With lots of obstacles in seeking justice, expert says, pardonable offense is at the prerogative of mercy from the concerned authority.
The person needs to turn a new leaf, knowing that having been pardoned is not his right, but it was such a rare privilege.
As Shino Ajayi picks up the remaining part of his life, one can only pray that fate smiles on him, even in his 60s.
Needs support for what he's been through. We wish him well. It sounds like a scary movie, yet it actually happened in Asaba, Delta State, when 4 young men and a girl moved into a 2-bedroom apartment in a popular estate. They never, in their wildest imagination, thought that tragedy was precisely 12 hours away. Now the police are piecing fragments of the puzzle together in a bid to unravel the mystery behind the death of 4 occupants as doctors battle to save the 5th housemate in intensive care. Austin Ademodo's report contains more details, but be warned that some of the images are graphic and we advise viewer discretion.
4 bodies of the victims, including 3 young men and a young girl, being evacuated by men of the A Police Division, Asaba. The 5th person, later discovered as the owner of the newly rented apartment, was found unconscious at the scene and was quickly rushed to the hospital. That was the tragedy that has left residents of a popular Richmond estate in Asaba in total nightmare. A neighbor who has identified himself as Sam recounts how the neighbors became apprehensive on noticing that the new occupants were not forthcoming after their generator has stopped 24 hours later.
Checking from the downstairs, you see the boat that they used to lock it from. So we went back, and the same thing, they lock it from the back. We're like, what's this now? This cannot be true. So we climbed the staircase, just check the door. If the door is locked from the back, the key is in the mat of the door. Well, we don't know what to do. We ran to the police station, and for our safety and everything, the police and the DPO and everybody, they ran down immediately to the scene. They confirmed the door was locked and everything. So the police break down the door themselves, and entering inside, it was 5 human beings on the ground.
I gave house to 1 person. I don't know others. I don't know them.
Okay, but do you know where this person is coming from? Do you know?
From the analysis of my questioning to know, he said he's from Ozoro. He's from Ozoro. It didn't baffle me when the tenant called me. That August, waiting there happened.
Some of the victims' belongings are still littered around the staircase and within the compound. Meanwhile, at the Federal Medical Center, Asaba, team abductors battled to save the life of the only survivor identified as Maxwell. The initial clinical assessments by the doctors point accusing fingers at carbon monoxide poisoning.
It could be an attempted suicide. Maybe they took a sniper or took any of this organ of face poisoning. But for now, we don't have results to support this diagnosis that we have. That we're working with. So we are just, as you can see, we just invited us. We are still examining. We take samples, we send them to the lab, and we take it off from there.
Maxwell's elder brother, Stanley, who has been in total shock all this while, wonders why such calamity has befallen the family, who are still in anguish over their father's death a week ago.
I'm just saying that it's generator, but with what I see, it's not generator. It's not generator, but I'm still confused, I'm still surprised. So I really need help for people of Nigeria and Delta State.
While different theories have been trading over the possible suspects and cause of the tragic incident, the police detectives are not ready to buy into any of such and has refused to speak on incriminating evidence on the crime scene until after investigations.
The will tell us what actually killed them. Just like I said, that today we are hearing that people are saying it's generator films.
It is, however, expected that more clues to this tragedy may unfold when relatives of the 4 other dead victims come up to identify their bodies at the morgue. But for Maxwell, a survivor remains critical in unraveling the mysterious deaths, which has kept everyone waiting for answers.
That sort of events, we hope to track that case and may their souls find rest. Next up, the African adage, when an elephant falls, the forest feels its impact, can best describe the death of an industrialist and philanthropist, a beloved son of Ibadan land, Chief Bode Akindele, who died recently in Lagos at the age of 87. Omokende Igbari brings us details of the funeral ceremony of this great man.
All gaily dressed with a touch of purple,
at the night of tributes and evening of songs for the departed Parakoyi of Ibadan land and Baba Ijo of Methodist Church, Agbeni Sabode Akindele. Different encomiums were poured on the deceased. All roads led to the Methodist Church Cathedral, Agbeni, for the burial of the illustrious Nigerian who lived a fulfilled life and impacted many lives positively from his wealth and experience, as well as died in the ripe old age of 87. Family members and well-wishers gathered in the church to pay their last respect.
A crown of glory by Peter in 1 Peter 5:4, and a crown of life by John in Revelation 2:10. We will wear a crown after this life.
He taught us that we must earn money before we can spend it. And he was a very peaceful man, loving.
His discipline, his Christianity, his love of charity both at home and abroad, and those are the pillars on which any successful person or any entity stands, and that is what we will remember Baba for.
The list of distinguished guests and dignitaries from all walks of life include Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde.
You may not see Baba physically anymore, but our loved ones never really leave us. They remain forever with us. Each time we hear a voice that sounds like theirs, someone that shares a similar look or act as they do, we are reminded that a part of them always remains with us.
Whenever Bodi Akindele went for a board meeting in Tanzania, the Minister of Industry will always come to meet and pay his respect to him. That was how very good he was. In the UK, Bodi Akindele's name is known for integrity.
Interment of the remains of Sir Bode Akindele was strictly a private family affair. The industrialist, who had been in the business of creating industries, is survived by his 2 wives, children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren.
Rest in peace, amen. Let's call it a night at this point. Thanks for your loyalty to Newsline. We do not take it for granted. I'll leave you with this. Every time you subtract negativity, you make room for positivity. Good night and God bless Nigeria.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
The coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has been declared by the World Health Organization as a global pandemic. While clinical trials are ongoing for a vaccine and a possible cure, take these preventive measures to keep themselves safe and contain the further spread of the virus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Or Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Network Service of the NTA.
The Nigerian fashion industry in the late 1990s and early 2000s took the world by storm with our contemporary fashion sense, introducing us to the whole world as a fashionable set of people. One of such individuals who took Nigerian fashion from here into Africa and to the rest of the world is who we're here to meet as we welcome you to another lovely time on Executive Discuss. I am Ololade Adeniji Adele. On this week's episode of the program, we're here at the abode of a man popularly called Moody Africa. He it was who first took Nigerian fashion, Nigerian designs outside of the shores of Nigeria and into the West African sub-region. Let's get to meet this rather interesting and quite artistic man. Please come with us.
Oh, madam.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
Very well. You do
Come
have
in.
a lovely place.
Thank you. Come in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where can I sit?
Sitting here.
Thank you very much.
How's the family?
Very well, thank you. And yours?
Fine.
You do have a lovely place here, I must say. Very lovely. Very, very lovely.
How was your trip?
Very well, thank you. On Executive Discuss today, I have with me a man whose passion is driven by his love for the arts. He is fashion personified from his head to his toes, and he has done so much in the world of fashion, taking Nigeria on a global scale. Join me as we welcome to Executive Discuss today the man popularly known as Moody Africa, but of course his birth name is Mudiaga Enajemo. Hello Moody, how are you?
Hi, welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again for welcoming us into your home. You do have a lovely place, I must say.
Thank you.
Let's start from the very basics, as I usually would do with my guests on this show. What was it like for you growing up? Where did you grow up, and what was your background like?
Well, I grew up polygamous family with 27 of us, 9 wives. So we grew with that middle class lifestyle, and by the grace of God, we grew up well because my dad made sure we grew with understanding of how life is, discipline, hard work, and above all, humility. Yeah.
Coming from a polygamous home. Ordinarily, when you hear that one is from a polygamous home, no pun intended here, but a lot of children who come out from polygamous home seem to lack direction, probably at the earliest stages of their lives. For you, what impact did the polygamous setting in which you found yourself, what impact did it play in your life?
There's something my dad, let me say our dad, when I was young, most times if we are with him, the kids from different mothers will sit with him, maybe in the parlor, gisting, having fun. If he wants to give me, if I ask for money as a youth, and he can only afford to give me one, just to give me, what would he will send 2 other ones from different mother out, that I could go and get water, get something, and he not give me. If you want to give another person the same thing, you do like a routine. That alone helped me to know how you can work. Life generally is like discipline and above all, politics. Politics must play even where you work, your family. That's so able to manage human being. It has really helped me a lot.
So take us through your early years. Where were you born? Where did you grow? Your schools you attended? Just take us through what your early years were like.
Well, I was born in Ughelli, 15 minutes drive from Warri in Delta State. I was born in Ughelli, grew up in Ughelli, schooled in Ughelli. And when we were growing up, we had that proper upbringing, which is key to one's life. Discipline and above all, contentment. That principle has really helped me a lot in my business and the way I live my life. So I came into Lagos 1990. Since then, work. Initially, when I entered Lagos, I worked with an uncle of mine. I was drafted to the section where you're into lighting, not far from 7-Up. I was drafted to this finishing section to supersede finishing part of the job they were doing then. And because of my attention to details, during this break, I will be sketching as an artist for the fun of it. I never knew I was going to fashion designing. I was just doing it for the fun of it. So from there, luckily for me, I ran into 2 of my friends who actually told me that, Moody, go into fashion designing. That was how it all started.
You had a love for arts even when you were in school. You started sketching, you did not know that it was going to take you to where you are at today. Will you say that it is that love for arts that eventually took you into the world of fashion? Because you could have gone elsewhere, you could have practiced your art in another form. Yes.
In life, they say water naturally find level. What I'm doing today is, I will say, boldly say it with all sense of humility, I'm called to do fashion. I dream, sleep, everything I do is about fashion. And as a designer, you must know how to create. You must be creative, you must know how to illustrate. That has really helped me a lot. Illustration is key to fashion designing.
You started fashion in the early 90s, about 93. Yes, you started your fashion industry in the year 1993. Looking at that journey, take us through it till from where you started, because I've heard a lot, really, about how you started, but we want to hear it from you. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
I started in 1993, September, to be precise. When 2 of my friends asked me to go into fashion design, I was a bit confused, because it didn't occur to me to go into fashion. But inside me, illustration is part of my life. So what I did is, that's okay. So I approached an established tailor around Kitu then, my neighborhood. So I talked to the man. So it's possible, I want to learn cutting, learn much about sewing. He said something to me. He said, that would be nice, because even in this neighborhood, we all know you that you dress well. So come. So I approached him. I wrote for 6 months. During that 6 months, what I did then is I printed complimentary card. I go from office to office. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I go different offices, share my complimentary card. My friends I knew back in Delta, who were in Lagos then. So, but Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I go for training. So after that 6 months, I wasn't too satisfied. So I added additional 3 months to get more training. The rest is history. So I started working. I working from my room then in K2.
In K2.
Yes. Face me, I face you, they call it face. So working from my room, I was able to try to raise money to get my first shop then. It wasn't easy. Things were rough. Luckily for me, I met ROMD.
That's Richard Mufeda.
Yes. Before issue of the shop came up. So I approached him. I just opened up to him. I said, bros, I want to get a shop. I need you to assist me. He said, okay. I should check him, give him time. Then he just finished his movie, Out of Bound.
Okay.
He spent so much money on the movie, so I should give him time. I actually gave him time. There was no phone. I'll go to his office. He will say, oh, Moody, okay, I promise you, come tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. Check me next week. I'll go next week, check me Friday, until he gave me the money. The day he gave me the money, he said something I will never forget, very touching. Maybe he said it out of experience. He said, this Moody, this money I give you so, I don't want to regret it. Yes. I said, no, bros. No, we are all from Warri. Most time we discuss more business.
Yes, you use your street lingo.
Yes. I said, bro, don't give me the money. Give it to your junior brother. Let him go and pay with your name. So they paid 47,000 naira.
Wow.
We paid 2 years on his name.
Your basic instinct is just to say, let me help him so that he can be on his feet. What he does with that thereafter is entirely up to him. But help you must, or assist you must. So you don't really project and see and say to yourself, I know this one will be a big superstar one day. If you look for that criteria, you probably won't help anybody because you probably won't see it. You can't see it. At that early stage when the person can hardly string 2 things together or two pennies together, you can't see it. So you don't. That's not the motivation. It's not whether he will become this global brand someday. It is more of so that he can succeed at what he does. So at least he can have a fair chance to succeed at what he does.
When you were starting out, when friends advised you, that since you're good enough in sketches and all of that, going to fashion, did you ever see Moody Aga then as Moody Africa today, looking at what you've been able to achieve?
No. But right from time, I grew with that it is possible mentality. I never want to use that word, I will make them. It's a sign of arrogance, though. I don't use I will make them. It is possible. That have really helped me a lot. That
So
it is
for you,
possible.
nothing is impossible.
It is possible. Just keep working. Most times I use myself as an example that hard work pays. Hard work pays. You go through pain to survive, but at the end of the day, you will smile. And when you say achievement might not be naira and kobo, but you fulfill it. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm touching lives. That is the value of what I do. I attach so much value to what I do. Yeah.
Now, Moody Africa today is a fashion brand that is known not just in Nigeria, but across the West African frontiers, and you've even conquered beyond Africa. What inspired you to take fashion out of Nigeria, especially at that time when Nigerian fashion was hardly known anywhere? But you took that bold step, being the first Nigerian designer to take Nigerian designs out of this country. What was it that inspired you, that gave you that confidence or that impetus to take it out?
Fashion is universal. Once something is good, if it doesn't speak language, it's good, people buy. There was something a man said to me. I went to Nairobi, Kenya. Before I come to the question you asked me, I was at the airport filling immigration form, and a woman just walked up to me, a Kenyan. I said, good evening. I said, good evening, man. Are you Moody, the fashion designer in Nigeria? I said, yes. Oh, my husband buy your clothes. I have a shop in Nairobi. Oh, let me call him. He just called the husband, and we discussed. The man was so happy. That day I felt very good because that shows that I'm touching lives in different parts of country. So that for me is like a joy to me. So beyond the money I'm making, and above all, I'm equally adding value to my country. It's a good image. And so what actually prepared me to move my brand outside Nigeria? 1999, in 2009, I was invited to Ghana by Ambassador Musli Obanikoro. He was ambassador to Ghana then. They did a party for him to host him. So I was invited. He personally invited me. So I was there for 2 nights. So I just, at the party, I saw people wear what they wore. I said, no, there's a market here. So I took took time, went around the town with a taxi. I just saw that there's a market here. So I just approached him. I opened up to him. I said, sir, Your Excellency, I need to open a shop here. He gave me the go-ahead. I said, Moody, I will encourage you. The embassy will surely give you backing. Make sure you get everything done properly. So I got a lawyer, registered my business first, got an auditor, then I got a first shop, started working.
I encouraged him to look beyond the shores of Nigeria. So when I became an ambassador, it was very easy for me to invite him. I invited him to come over, and he did. And in the course of his visitation, I took him to President Kufuor, who was then the president. And I introduced him, and I told President Kufuor to give the young man a chance by patronizing him. And he did. And from there, he came back to me and told me that he wanted to have a branch within Accra. And I encouraged him. I made some provisions for him in terms of transportation and assistance, in terms of a tour guide. So eventually, Moody was able to put things together, and he opened a branch in Accra during my tenure as High Commissioner. And I also did not disappoint him by ensuring that most of my colleagues were also on hand during the opening ceremony to support him. He's an individual you can use as a good example of what Nigerian spirit is all about. Because when you see a young man who is not ready to cut corners, his focus is how to use his God-given talent to better himself and also to showcase to the whole world what Africans can do in terms of fashion.
In 2010, the same process I applied in Nairobi. I went to Nairobi on holidays. I went around town. I just saw a shop. Like from the airport, there's this what they call it third eye. Anything you do, you must have that third eye. Anywhere I go to, if I see there's a market, I know. So I just went around town. The following morning, I went to the Nigerian embassy in Kenya. I met with the ambassador. I opened up to him that I'm here for a mission. He said the same thing Obanikoro said to me years back. Moody, right from Nigeria, I've heard the name Moody. You're not a stranger here. And he said something very remarkable. He said, Moody, in this country, we need people like you to come and redeem our country's image. There are a lot of people who are giving us bad name in this country. But please, come. You come in, it will be like a positive thing to our image. So he gave me the backing. At the same process, I got a lawyer, an auditor. I opened a shop. It was commissioned. The same process, that same 2010, I opened the same process. I moved to South Africa. The same process, I went to Pretoria. I met Buba Mawa, our ambassador then. He gave me the same The same procedure, they got me a lawyer, registered, I got a shop.
But were you not scared that you were going into uncharted waters? Especially going by the fact that back then, we grew up with the notion that clothes from outside Nigeria were better off. And Nigerian fashion wasn't really known worldwide like that. So were you not scared?
I wasn't scared. You know, one thing, anything you do, you must believe in yourself. It's key. Self-confidence is very important. I know what God has blessed me with. I know what I have inside. So by the grace of God, the willpower, the determination, discipline, above all, the focus, I feel can take me anywhere.
Is it not about being a Delta boy? Because you see, the average Delta or Warri boy believes he can conquer anywhere he goes, even if he doesn't have a dime in his pocket.
No, without sense of humility, I would say yes. But the other way around is a Nigerian thing.
Okay.
We are all determined to succeed. Most times the environment you work from, at times you get scared, get frightened with things you see every day, distraction, but you must remain focused.
Nigerian fashion has grown in leaps and bounds over the years, and somehow we seem to have taken the world by storm in the sense of, the contemporary nature of our fashion. What do you think has brought this to bear?
Not only the fashion industry, music,
yes,
comedy,
specific
movie.
Yes.
But let me come to the issue of the fashion. You know, one thing that have really helped us is diversity. Igbos are coming with their concepts, Rivers, South, Yorubas, the Hausas, the Middle Belt. So we have a lot to inspire us, which is key. Unlike other countries where what they have is just one tribe, Nigeria has different tribes. It's really helping us. And above all, we are very determined people. We're very, try to upwardly mobile people, and we're very fashion-conscious people. That alone drives the imagination, drives the competition, drives quality. Because we've come a long way. We've tried.
Yes.
If you check the things I made 15 years ago compared to what I make now, there's so much difference. What is demand, there's bound to be competition, there's bound to be quality. The more, the better.
How would you describe your own kind of, that's Moody Africa line of clothing? It looks like you cater to just the men. But what kind of clothing line do you offer?
My clothes are Afrocentric, formal and informal. The clothes I make is with slippers, you can look casual. With shoes, you go dressy. It depends on your mood. So they cut across. That's why it's easier for me to penetrate into other African countries. Not the typical Nigerian traditional outfits. Very retro. What you can wear to anywhere. Depends on the mood.
On the mood. Why do you cater to just the men folk alone?
I used to make for females, but I stopped about 10 years ago.
Why?
I want to focus on the men. There are designers that make for only women.
Yes.
So I want to focus on the men, so I can understand the man body chemistry.
Yeah, you're a man. So you already understand the man's body chemistry.
No. If a man walk into my office, even without taking measurement, I can determine your size. And above all, I want to focus. There's a lot of distraction when you start making for women. Sorry, with due respect.
I was waiting for you to say that.
So with due respect, there's so much pressure. I want to focus on the men alone. Okay. And there's so much sanity for me.
When you look at your journey over the years, you started in 1993 and you have come so far. In spite of the never say die spirit which you have had, I'm sure that there have been some times that maybe you almost wanted to call it quits with the challenges. How has it been? Let us into some major challenges that you have encountered in your journey.
There's never a day I had the mind of quitting. Why? Because passion is what you do with so much passion. The money might not come, but you're happy. But there are two particular moments I will never forget. My first shop, I got through RMD. When the rent expired, trying to raise money to renew the rent. I went to a friend, it's like a senior friend, to loan me how much then? I needed about 20,000 naira to add to what I had then to pay to renew the rent. Because I couldn't go back to RMD now. So he said something that we never, he said, Moody, forget this work. This work will not pay you.
Wow.
And he mentioned about 5 designers in Nigeria. I don't want to mention their names here. Who he was referring to. Those people, they're not making money now. Moody, you have style, you have talent, you dress well, you have taste. Don't worry. I have a friend who goes to Italy to bring in clothes. I will link him up to you, link him you guys, so you can take clothes for him and sell. You make more money than designing clothes. Tears, you know why? Because I went to him for a different reason, trying to discourage me. Yes. One. Then another time, the struggling moment, no other time to struggle. A friend of mine, he saw me at the bus stop. I was going to deliver clothes on the island from Antony. He saw me by the bus stop. You know, I had about 2 carrier bags. Somebody, wow, this work. When you want to buy a car from this work.
Wow.
And he said it.
That's
like
deep.
a question, yes. Somebody, which year you want to buy a car from this work? But that, my friend, today, we still relate.
And he has seen what God has done for you.
No, he's happy. We're still, where we grew up together in Delta, so we all moved to Lagos. The question was very touching, but...
So those were times that you really felt low in your spirit, yes. But you decided to forge ahead.
That it is possible.
You started in K2, and we've heard about, how you always went around then with your sketch pad, and even when people could not afford to make clothes, you will go to the page of the sketch on the sketch pad that has boxes to want to convince anyone to buy. Looking at that place where you started from, did it in any way influence the kind of fashion that the kind of fashion line that you have today?
No. The only thing that I gained from that's
a one-room apartment, yes, also. Yes.
Contentment and hard work.
All right. Maybe for our viewers to get a better understanding of what we're talking about, let's meet 1 or 2 people who actually knew Moody from way back when he just started in that one-room apartment back there in K2. Let's get to see them.
He has fantastic attitude, friendly, very humble, and he had good relationship with my late husband, who was the landlord. Everyone in the area can attest to his exemplary character.
Moody Aga, like I often call him, meaning stand well. He's a friend, a very good friend, good enough to be a brother. He's an adopted spiritual son of my dad, so we are more like brothers. My mom had a provision shop where Moody used to shop. He would meet us there as guys, we would greet, gist, and before you say 3-4 sentences, Moody, who always moved around with a sketch pad, his sketch pad, would open his sketch pad and show you sketches, drawings of designs of attires and outfits and stuff that he expects you to patronize him on. And anytime he saw that you couldn't afford any of that, he would flip to another page where there were basically boxers, so that you had to buy one thing or the other from within his collection. That was how we basically knew within the area.
The program is still executive discuss, and we have just seen the roots from where Moody Africa took off. Back to our discussion now, Moody. I mean, that was quite interesting, knowing that you started from that one-room apartment and the house still stands.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Looking at you, looking at your business, your line, your clothing line over the years, how affordable is Moody Africa?
My clothes are affordable. There's this perception, is it perception or how would I put it? People, clothes are very expensive. I tell people that anything you do, once you do it well, put a price tag. I won't tell you my clothes are made for the elite alone. No, I won't tell you I'm made for, I just put my price tag. If you can afford.
You put your price tag, but we know that Moody clothes the likes of kings. I mean, you clothe the king in Morocco, you clothe ambassadors, you clothe the high and mighty. So maybe for the average person, they might say Moody is not so affordable after all.
You know, madam, there's a market for everybody. Like Rolls Royce, known for quality cars. If you can afford Rolls Royce, if you go to that shop, they won't tell you whether you are a bricklayer or you are a carpenter. If you can pay, you pay, take your Rolls Royce. At the end of the day, what you are buying is of quality. It's what matters. Because if you buy an outfit for a low price, maybe you go home, not well made, you will forget the price. But if you buy it, no matter how expensive, and you're happy with what you bought, you'll be happy, you forget the price. What matters more is quality, and good things don't come easy.
In your line of business, I know that oftentimes designers, tailors usually have high turnover of workers, of staff who work with them. And this can be challenging. How have you been able to maintain your workforce over the years? Because I spoke with some of your staff and they've been with you since forever. How have you been able to maintain your staff strength over all these years?
I think one thing that really helped me is people say humility. Just be practical, be yourself. This environment, unfortunately, it's difficult to be yourself. Any day my staff are working all night, I work with them. Part of discipline.
You stay with them.
I stay with them. Because it's like how would I put it? Double M. You're monitoring, you're motivating. 7 o'clock, I'm in the office. There are times, if I walk through the workshop and the thread fall off from the machine, I pick it, I give to the tailor. He doesn't take anything from me. Because you're making them feel that you appreciate them, they're human. And don't do your best to them, because they have conscience, difficult to hurt you. Just do your best and leave the rest to God. I'm not perfect. I have my own challenges, but what I do is I'll treat you as a human being. So long you're giving me what I want from you, I'm okay. I'll treat you as a human being. And that's what most times we lack it in this country, because we try to intimidate, oppress, and impress people.
Still talking about the Nigerian fashion industry, which has continued to grow in leaps and bounds. I mean, we're so contemporary and Afrocentric that a Nigerian can walk into any shop or any event anywhere in the world. What has helped to keep your level of creativity going by the fact that every day we have emerging fashion designers who are bringing something new to the table? What is it that has kept Moody Africa going strong?
You said something that I'm an artist. And as an artist, you must keep inventing. You must keep thinking. I think a lot. That's one thing. I can be with you now, be just about my mind is gone. I think a lot. And the day I stop thinking, that will be the end of Moody. Because you must keep coming out with ideas. Because the market is waiting for something fresh.
Yes. On a daily basis, I know that Moody is a very busy man. But take us through what your day entails. What time does your day start? How does it start? What do you do? And take us through the rest of the day.
Normally what I do, I go to bed, depends on my schedule. If I wake up in the morning, 5:30. At times I wake up 4:30, 4:45. Depends on my mood. Any day I'm under pressure, maybe I have so many things to work on. I wake up by 5:30, pray, thank God for another day, take my water, do a little bit of aerobic, in the house, or I walk out, do a workout within my estate, take a glass of water, then shower, go to work. I leave my home 6:45 every day, and I get to the office 7 o'clock. I drive against traffic. Yeah.
Okay.
So 15 minutes I'm in the office. I get to the office, look around, check what I'm going to do for that day, put everything in place. Then we do our normal prayer in the office. Then open to customers. Work till when I close 6 o'clock.
And you work Mondays through
Friday.
Okay.
You see, maybe once a while, if I have Saturday pressure work, I go to Saturday work.
All right. Looking at you and having spoken to a few people about you, two things have stood out actually. One is the fact that people have said your Moody is a humble person. And another that has stood out is the fact that you believe in God. Like probably your belief in God has kept you going for this long. What's your take on that?
Let me start from the issue of humility. When people say Moody is humble, I take it as a compliment. But what I begin to wonder is that how come people lay emphasis on humility? It's only in Nigeria where we emphasize more of humility. This is me. I'm just playing my role as a human being. So why must I be arrogant? Because the opposite of humility is arrogance. Why must I be arrogant? I think let me put it in a very soft way. I don't know, maybe it's a Nigerian thing that we're becoming a bit too arrogant. Which is someone who is just real. See, that person is humble. Humility to me is a way of life. It's like, for instance, we have 10 of us in a room. Then about 9, maybe in the morning, they won't have the bath, just wear and go out. But the particular guy out of the 10 who bath in the morning, so that guy is very clean. He's supposed to bath in the morning. It's a way of life.
It's a way of life.
Yes, humility to me. Why must I be arrogant? Why?
And your belief in God?
Apart from being a Christian, I know I entered this world. God brought me to this world to perform my own duty. And I thank God for health, good life, talent. I believe so much in God. God first for me for any other thing.
What are your likes and dislikes?
Let me start from dislike.
Okay.
I can't stand people that are lazy. I can't stand lazy people. If you are lazy and you are dirty, no. I can't stand. Two things that put me off. Laziness. And two things that actually helped me is, they said it's in the Bible. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Hard work pays.
So those are your dislikes.
Yes.
What does Moody like?
I like life. I like life generally. I like life. Life is good. All the things we are seeing now is all by God. The clothes I make, is God gives the talent to create it. So I cherish anything. I like good life.
Well, we have been speaking with Moody Africa, as he's popularly known. It's still executive discuss, but let's take a break now. We will talk to a few people also who have known Moody. He has mentioned 1 or 2 names here. So we wouldn't be doing justice to this particular episode of the program if we do not bring those people to you. Let's find out who Moody is to other people, seeing other parts of him.
I think he's very Afrocentric. That's the good thing about his work, which is why he's Moody Africa, not just Nigeria. And you can, his friends, most of his friends are cut across Francophone countries and the Anglophone, Moody is so Afrocentric to the point where his holidays are within, very small and exotic places in Africa. I usually just envy how he manages to find time to integrate himself with Africa, and that has helped him establish in major African cities because he has friends across these places. And so for me, that's the mark of his own entrepreneurial spirit. You know, I just wish him, you know, bigger successes in the future.
We experience those things that people do in secondary schools, especially in boys' school, and all boys' school, you know. And Moody was quite a very unassuming person, also very good in the arts. He was probably one of the, if not the best overall art student then in secondary school. And I think from there, you know, it's what you're seeing today, what he has become today.
I'd say he's a gentleman. He's a perfect gentleman. And he's cool and he's easy to work with. He makes work easier and he gives you opportunity to learn. He teaches you everything he thinks you should learn. So if a person works with Moody and you're not smart, then I don't think you can be smart.
Moody is a hardworking person, no dulling moment. Then he liked in his creation, he always like the best and get the best. If you're not up to the best, he won't have you. So if the clothes you are doing is not what he wants, you come lose it and start from the beginning until he gets what he wants.
Moody is as simple as the word simple. He's not in any way complicated. He's very down to earth. There are no airs around him. He's humble. He's not perfect. Don't expect perfection. Maybe I'd tell you to go look for someone else with that name, but the one that I have known since '96 he has been that way till tomorrow.
I am happy because sometimes when I go out, they say, "Are you Moody's son?" It gives me joy. I'm so happy. And I'm proud to call him my dad. He's a go-getter. And if he sets his mind to doing something, he gets it done. No hindrances, no distractions.
Still good to know you're here. The program is Executive Discuss. Moody, we know that the Nigerian government today lays a lot of emphasis on Nigeria, everything Nigeria, wear Nigeria, eat Nigeria, sleep Nigeria. But we have had some challenges with your own raw materials that you use in your own industry, which first and foremost is textile. We know that at some point in time in this country, we had textile companies that produced top-notch quality fabrics. How do you source your fabrics?
Unfortunately, all our textile industries are almost collapsed. So we have to rely on fabric from abroad. It's unfortunate, but nothing we can do for now, pending when things will change.
But there are still a few factories that produce.
There are, but most times they focus on Ankara. We do use Ankara as well, but we have to use different fabrics. But for now, we focus more on getting fabric from abroad.
From
outside the shores of Nigeria, yeah.
How easy is it to source these materials?
It's difficult. And one thing that really helped us is we have traders, businessmen and women who go all parts of the world to bring in fabrics. So there are times I want to travel more than 4 times in a year to get fabrics. Because there are shops, there are the markets. Our market is the biggest textile market in Africa. That alone is enough for us to feed our eyes, see what we like and buy and make use of.
Moody has told us that, yes, even his job helps him to relax. But I'm sure that there are some things you also like to do in your quiet times. Because the idea of this program is for our viewers to really know through and through who Moody is. Can you take us through those things?
Once in a while, I go for live band. Listen to me. I do. Once in a while, maybe once a month, maybe once in 2 months. Depends on my mood. There are this Ebony band. Anywhere they go to play, I go to watch them. Yeah, Ebony. God bless. So just have for maybe, I hardly spend more than 2 hours. I'm off to go and sleep. So I can resume work the following morning, 7 o'clock.
And we see that you also love to play the piano.
No, but I'm not too good yet. I'm just trying to pick up.
All right, as we begin to take this discussion on a home stretch, for Moody Africa, coming from where you have, what do you see of your business, your brand, in another, say, 10 years from now?
Difficult question. Why? Because my belief in life is just let me keep working, keep coming out with good ideas, and let God take me to where He feels I belong.
Yes, but you have your dreams and
I know,
aspirations.
my dream is for me to be known and keep doing a good job. Good job sells itself. For me, good job, I pray for more blessing. Let me keep coming out with ideas. Let me keep working. Water will surely find level. Don't forget there's demand for clothes. So when there's demand, just keep working. Make sure you come out with new ideas. The market is big. People want to wear clothes. So that's my prayer is God just bless me. Make sure I keep designing. I keep coming out with new ideas.
Now, today, is it still the art that determines your dress sense, what you wear at any given point in time?
Art is to create. The other one is lifestyle.
Because, I mean, I'm looking at you now. I find this hat particularly
Thank you. Thank you. You know, art is expression of what you have inside. So what I'm not doing now, I'm just expressing myself. I'm just happy doing what I love doing. And as a designer, the clothes you make, the way you dress, your office, where you live, more reflect your philosophy. As a good designer, the clothes you wear, the clothes you make, your office, your home must reflect your philosophy. It's very important. You can't go wrong. That's why I tell people to do well as a designer, you must be creative, you must have style, you must have taste. You must be creative, you must have style, you must have taste. Creative is to create a design. Style is to express finesse about style. Then you must have taste. Taste to knowing colors. What we call design management, it comes under taste. Knowing the kind of button that will put a particular shirt, know the shoe that will blend with this shoe, so you don't go out of board.
There are a lot of young ones, and even not so young, who are in the fashion industry or hoping to come into the fashion industry, who look up to Moody as a source of inspiration out there. What's your word of encouragement to them on how to go about it to be successful in this industry?
In Nigeria of today, we no longer believe in hard work. People are looking for shortcuts. It took me 26 years to get to where I am today. They are designers. There's some of these young boys. When we started working, there was no social media. We actually grew our name with true good job, focus, and hard work. Could you have access to social media? They dwell more on the glamour and the razzmatazz, the fantasy, without less emphasis on substance, which is not too good. You must have a structure before you put yourself out there. If you put yourself out there, you don't have the structure. Can you withstand the demand that will come? They are young boys, you see them on social media, they're trending. No workshop, no showroom. They don't have their own one tailor, no structure. It's unfortunate. We are becoming too fast. There's a process of what we call organic growth. You must go through that process. You can't rush it. So, back to what I said earlier, we don't look at believing hard work. You guys are working hard, and you're seeing the reward. People see you are doing something else. I take myself as an example. There are people who said, are you sure it's only designers what he's doing? They've said it to me. Are you sure just close? Look at his office, look at his house. No. 27 years.
Quite a journey.
And by the grace of God, I enjoy what I'm doing. I may not have 1 million in my account, but my lifestyle, people feel that I have so much money. It's because it's my lifestyle. I believe in expressing myself. I'm just living my life. There are people there who are not enjoying the life they are living. So you first of all enjoy your life you are living. You must live the life you enjoy. So the life you live.
And that brings me to a question that I was almost missing out there. Oftentimes, when we talk about designers, even though, yes, it comes with some other artisans, but there's always this thing about disappointments where designers, tailors often disappoint their clients given dates that are not realistic. But I've never heard that about Moody. How have you been able to rise above that quote and unquote lifestyle of fashion designers, maybe in Nigeria, where disappointment is key for them?
Madam, if I tell you I don't disappoint, it might sound overstatement. It do happen. It might not be an intentional thing, but it do happen. Take for instance, you come to me, say, Moody, I want an outfit for my husband. On Thursday next week is his birthday. Can I get it on Monday? Today is Friday. I say, ma, you get it on Tuesday, 2 days before the birthday. Thinking that the particular person that will handle, we call division of labor, that will handle that particular design, maybe 2 of them, the following Monday they come to work. Maybe domestic issue. They have issue with that. Maybe their kid is not feeling fine, took the son to the hospital, they're not really feeling too nice. It will obstruct the plan. What do I do? I have to look for a way out. But for a thorough job, you know that those people, that will take care of the dress, you have to wait till when they come. What you do is to communicate to the customer. So issue of delay, it do happen. No, I would not pray for it, but it do happen. We have to manage parties.
So obviously a lot of people lack that management capacity where you now have the clients getting really upset about the situations.
It do happen. It's not what you pray for. Nobody likes disappointment. It's painful when your customer is angry. At times he hurts away as a designer, but circumstances. So by the grace of God, I've been able to manage my clients. If I know it will be ready, I'll tell you that, sorry, this will not be ready. Or look for alternative.
I have been speaking with the man popularly known as Moody Africa, a man who has revolutionized fashion in Nigeria, who has taken Nigerian fashion outside of Nigeria, first of all into the West African sub-region, but of course it has gone way, way beyond even the African continent, making Nigeria proud. These are the kind of people that we bring to you
week in, week out on Executive Discuss with a view to unraveling these interesting individuals. For more of this every week, please let's do this again, same time next week, when we'll be bringing to you another very interesting personality, I assure you. Till then, I remain Ololade Adeniji Adele. Please stay safe and bye-bye.
Free from COVID-19.